Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the dark truth about the Black Disciples. But before we begin, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to my second channel, Truth Network, for more truth content. The link is in the description. Also, don't forget to join the Truth Is Discord server so you can join other truth seekers in some interesting conversations. I'm also planning on hosting a live event only on Discord soon, so make sure you're on there so you don't miss it. You can also find a link to the Discord in the description. Thank you all. Now let's get right into it. One of the biggest problems that urban communities face today is the gangs that reside in them. For decades, gangs have terrorized the people in urban communities around the country. Gangs that are usually ran by young teenagers barely starting their lives. Gang culture, since it's a part of urban culture, has been intertwined with hip-hop music, as many big rappers have claimed to be a part of a gang or two. For example, the rappers like Lil Wayne made a career rapping about his blood affiliation. Nowadays, it's common for rappers to glamorize the gang life in their music, rapping about the gang life they used to live, painting the life of a gang member as something desirable and honorable. This has influenced many teenagers to join gangs as they see rappers as their heroes. Just about all the cities in America have serious gang problems, especially the biggest cities like New York City, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and especially Chicago. Chicago is one of the birthplaces of major gangs, similar to LA. Gangs like the Bloods and the Crips were known to originate in LA, while Chicago is known for gangs like the Gangster Disciples, Black Disciples, and the Latin Kings. Gangs that we hear about all over the music industry today. The biggest rappers to this day claim gang affiliations, promoting it in their lyrics. One of the biggest and most dangerous gangs being promoted heavily by mainstream rappers is the Black Disciples, or the BDs, a gang with famous members like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and the late King Von. All of these rappers make it well known that they're affiliated with the Black Disciples, and they're proud of it. In today's episode, we will be taking a closer look at the Black Disciples and uncovering some very interesting information that to me shows why the gangs have done so much evil. What you will soon find out will show you that the Black Disciples had a sinister secret they seem to want to erase. The Black Disciples were formed in 1966, but before it was called the Black Disciples, they were known as the Devil Disciples, a gang that started in 1958 when a group of friends started the gang for protection, one member being David Barksdale, otherwise known as King David, who would eventually become the leader of the Devil's Disciples. Shortly after David became the leader, he would come up with the idea of creating the Black Disciples, recruiting many smaller gangs in the area. He would eventually merge with a rival gang at the time known as the Gangster Disciples, led by Larry Hoover. Together, they created the Black Gangster Disciple Nation. Soon after the gangs merge, Larry Hoover, the GD founder, will get arrested for his crimes, getting sentenced to 150 years in prison. This left David in charge of the BGDN, and the gang will stay united until David Barksdale's passing on September 2nd, 1974. This is when the Gangster Disciples and the Black Disciples once again became two separate gangs who immediately started beefing with each other. The beef would calm down, but only for a short moment when Mickey Bull took over the gang. This unification would end after Mickey Bull was taken out by Gangster Disciple members in 1991, sparking the ongoing war that is still going on to this day. Nowadays, the beef between the BDs and the GDs live out in the streets and in drill songs created by mainstream artists. On the surface level, it appears that the Black Disciples are just a bunch of teens who got together in the hoods of Chicago for protection and to make money. But I think this story is much darker than this. If we look at the symbols used by the gang and even the backstory, we start to see this gang is connected to the source of evil itself. Like I said earlier, the Black Disciples actually went by the name of the Devil Disciples when they first got started. It wasn't until they wanted to get more members that they wanted to disassociate themselves with the Devil's name, as they felt it would be easier for members to join. That name to me speaks for itself and was chosen for a dark reason. These gang members actually saw themselves as disciples of the devil. They knew what they were doing was serving the devil, and they took enough pride in this to call themselves his disciples. This name made me want to look deeper into the gang to see if I can find any evidence proving this gang was either associated with the occult or Satanism like other street gangs have been in the past. I started my research by looking into the creator of it all, David Barksdale. David Barksdale was a co-founder, but he became the leader of the Devil Disciples and then created the Black Disciples, and it's the reason they call him King David. When looking into David Barksdale, I wasn't really finding much beside his real name, which was Donis David Barksdale, and that he passed away at the age of 27. That quickly caught my attention, as he was a famous member of a now famous gang who passed away at the age of 27 due to kidney failure. Was he possibly a member of the 27 Club? Did he make a deal with the devil to become one of the most famous gang leaders to ever live? I also found out that he had his gang members march with Martin Luther King Jr. and was also close friends with Fred Hampton, who was the chairman of the Black Panther Party. It's obvious that King David wasn't just your average young gang leader. He had connections to some very important people. When looking into David, I kept seeing rumors come up claiming that he was an open Satanist and that his father was a Mason. They also claimed that both the GD and the BD were structured off the Masons. I tried to find any credible proof to back these claims up, but besides many different people mentioning this on Reddit, I couldn't find anything proving that King James' father was a Mason. What I did find that caught my attention was the gang initiation ceremony and the gang symbols. This is when I noticed it was looking highly possible for King David to have been an occultist or for the gang to have been inspired by Masonry. The members had a ritual they had to do to join, where they would say the gang's prayer, and during the initiation ceremony, several members present will place their three-finger gang hand sign to touch the head of the new member as a blessing. That officially made them members. They then had to put work in for about 6 years to be able to gain any ranking in the gang. The saddest part about all of this is that the kids that join these gangs are as young as 12 years old. It's interesting that the members have to put in 6 years of work before they can gain ranking and become co-ministers in the gang. When we look at the Black Disciple symbols, you quickly start to see its resemblance to occult symbols. First, let's start with their most notable symbol, the six-pointed star, or otherwise known to others as the Star of David, a symbol usually associated with Jewish religion. The Star of David is obviously not used by the BDs to identify themselves as Jewish, but instead, they use it to symbolize their gang. What's interesting is that the Star of David is actually a symbol used by the Masons to symbolize King Solomon, a biblical figure that created the first temple of worship. The Star of David symbol was initially the Solomon seal, a symbol the Freemasons still use to this day. I'm pretty confident the Black Disciples adopted this symbol as a reference to Masonry and King Solomon, who is an important figure to the Freemasons. The Masons see Solomon as the builder of temples, and the Masons see themselves as the builder of nations. It's the reason they have adopted Solomon as a symbol. The star also has 6 points exactly, which we know is a reference to the number of the beast. This is why I believe David Barksdale called himself King David as a reference to King Solomon. King David also seems to mimic the Masons' fraternal behavior by building the BDs as activists and a community-driven organization in the public eye, but all while having a dark side. Just like the checkerboard floor, the BDs ran off duality. It's obvious to me that King David was inspired by Masonry and was most likely a Satanist like it is rumored. It wouldn't be the first time a gang is associated with the devil, as there's other gangs that have ties to the devil, like another Chicago gang, Satan Disciples, that was led by a man that they called King Satan. The symbols used for the gang was a baby devil, and again, the 6-point Star of David, or like we know now, Solomon's seal. Another gang associated with the devil is the Devil Lane, that had this member openly confess that he and other members openly worship the devil.
This is home to the Pasadena Devil Lanes, but the known clique right here is the Project Gangsta Blood, PJG. So yeah, when I was a young, I don't want to put the homie name out there. He's in the piece anyway now. He kind of introduced me to some a little dark side, you know, evil. We was on some satanic worship, and I was actually doing that. And about maybe 7-8 years, I into the satanic worship. And if you ask me how I got in this, I can honestly say I wanted power at a young age. I wanted to be balling like the rest. I want to be out here on no struggle. The easiest way to fame is to commit myself to Satan. At that point in my life, that's what I did, you know? That's what I did. And I don't have no regrets on doing that because it made me who I am. I've seen a lot of shit. You probably look at me like an animal if I was to tell you the kind of shit we was doing just to gain recognition Satan. I don't know if everybody want to disclose the fact they done played with the devil. When you caught up in that satanic, like, every day you want to purposely do something to hurt them, absorb the energy from your enemies, you know? So that's what we was on. We was on the real dark side. They call it the left hand, you know? I was doing a seance in my room one night, doing a blood sacrifice, and I was invoking the spirit world and my chants and all that. And out of nowhere, the whole bed in my room literally like yanked off the wall.
As you heard for yourself, this gang member claims that he at one point served the devil and that other members still to this day serve the devil. In my opinion, the BDs and the GDs was most likely created off a Freemasonic structure. To me, it all seems like a sick, twisted plan created by the elite of our world to manipulate the urban youth to destroy each other. A lot of people know just how bad the violent crime problem is in Chicago. A lot of this crime comes directly from the hands of the BD members. These young gang members' hearts have gone cold, and they have lost all remorse, making them not only willing, but proud of taking people out. I know the circumstances these kids grew up in, as I dealt with similar situations myself growing up. In all of my life, I haven't seen kids this cold-hearted as they are now. The drill music genre was created off the real-life beef these gangs were involved in, a genre that has spread all over the US and even around the world. Drill music, that I call death music, that was created just to destroy the youth in urban communities. Drill music started in Chicago by a GD rapper named King Louie, but it was popularized by Chief Keef, who was a part of the BD set. Chief Keef, a teenager at the time, was a known gang member in Chicago who was dissing his ops and got famous for it. The label saw the potential of this music and took this opportunity to make millions, taking him mainstream, not caring about the destruction this music was starting to cause. This gave birth to rappers like Lil Durk, who's another Black Disciple member and currently one of the biggest rappers out now. Lil Durk is a perfect example of a BD drill rapper spreading destruction to the world. Even though Durk has lost so many people around him due to the gang beef, it doesn't seem to change him. He only seems to use death as fuel to continue to spread destruction. There's something truly demonic going on with these rappers, rapping about people they have taken out, creating diss songs about fallen ops that become anthems the audience sing to. Lil Durk was also responsible for making King Von famous, another BD rapper who became famous for promoting destruction just like Lil Durk. King Von was the perfect example of a literal devil disciple as he lived to destroy. King Von was rumored to have had 7 bodies and took joy in doing each one. Von would routinely brag about the people he had taken out in his music, mocking them and their loved ones. This evil can only be compared to as demonic. King Von had a lust for blood. He took joy in catching bodies. He was almost like Chicago's Michael Myers. Michael Myers was a fictional movie serial killer who took people out because he was possessed by the spirit of Samhain, which is a pagan deity of death. Michael Myers had to make sacrifices to this god of death to appease it, and this is why Michael goes on his rampages on Halloween, taking out anyone he sets his eyes on. Von is being compared to a real-life serial killer, as he had allegedly had 7 bodies and was connected to 5 other bodies. He claims to have done it for his gang and for his fallen brothers, but I think it was darker than that. Von back in 2012 tweeted something that I found shocking when he tweeted, "Get you sacrificed," and also tweeted, "I be sacrificing them, laugh out loud." These to me appear as confessions, proving King Von was collecting bodies for a darker reason. Von was indoctrinated into this demonic lifestyle as a young teenager, a lifestyle that would eventually destroy 12 people and himself. His passing only made Lil Durk's career even bigger and only made him more money. I always found it strange how Durk's career hit next level mainstream heights right as King Von passed. Durk even dropped the music video that started his big run back in Blood with Pooh Shiesty the same day Von would pass. That just seems like too much of a coincidence if you ask me. I think I should take a further look into Von's passing. If you would like to see a full video on what truly happened to King Von, comment King Von below. To the very end, Von pushed Satan's agenda, spreading death's music and even still being associated with destruction. As it's alleged, months before Von passed, he put a $100,000 bounty on FBG Duck's head, a fellow gang rival who grew up in the same area as Von and even went to school with him. FBG Duck would later become mortal enemies with King Von, clashing until the very end. The devil was present when the devil disciples were created. We can say the devil hexed the gang all the way back then, and only death and destruction has come from it. So many kids look up to gang members, and mainstream hip-hop plays a big role in this. Kids want to be the rappers, so they listen to every word, and some of them start living their raps. We need to stop glorifying music that promotes gang culture. We need to open our eyes and look how much destruction it has caused. We need to teach the youth that these gangs are nothing but a trap created by Satan's people to destroy more souls. We need to guide the children back to Jesus and protect them from the traps the devil has set up for them. Like I always say, we must remember that every day we wake up, our souls are at stake. And we also must remember to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I just want to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truth Fish store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make goes directly to helping the channel and furthering Truth Records. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts below and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified when I drop new videos. If you like this video, please leave a like as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there for more truth. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.